All right, to start things off to help better understand channels, um, what we're going to do is we're going to start off simple and then eventually work our way up to harder, difficult selections. I understand you could probably use a specific tool to select all three circles here, but this is an example just to show you how channels works. Um, when you're working with channels, you'll notice right next to your layers, you'll see a channels panel. You'll be able to go back and forth between the two. Keep in mind, channels and layers are complete opposite, and you got to be careful what you're clicking on. But to start things off, what you're going to want to do in this file is take your ellipse tool and make your first selection on the white ring. And then when you have your selection, I probably could have done a better job. But in order to save your selection, we're going to have to save it as an alpha 1 channel in the channels. But in order to do that, you go up to the menu bar where it says select, and towards the bottom you'll see something that says save selection. Click on that. I keep everything default and then hit OK. And before you deselect, click on your channels and see if you have a black and white representation of your selection as an alpha 1 channel. And if you do, then you're okay to deselect. Hit Command D or click in any open space with your selection tool to deselect. But because we saved it as an alpha 1 channel, here it is right here, that's our selection. Let's say you accidentally deselected, but if you saved it, if you hover over the thumbnail of alpha 1 and hold Command, or might be something different on a PC, might be Control, I'm not sure. But if you hold Command on a Mac and you click once on that thumbnail, it should bring back your selection. And whatever is white on your alpha 1 is what's going to be loaded up in your selection. Whatever is black will not be selected. And you're going to see the control that you're going to have as we keep building onto our alpha 1. Anytime you do 2 or more selections, you know you have to use the channel technique is when there's 2 or more selections and it's all built into one. And you're going to see how that works right now. So with that saved and the white ring is completed, I'm going to deselect, and then I'm going to take my ellipse tool and I'm going to select the blue ring now. And with that selected, what you're going to do, please reframe. Be very careful. Like I said, you got to be very careful what you're clicking on, because as soon as you mess up once, it could ruin the whole thing and you might have to start over. Please refrain from clicking on the eyeballs. Do not click on the eyeballs. You're always going to want to click on the words itself, whether it's the red, the green, or the blue. But because we're adding to our selection, which is the alpha 1, we want that blue ring as part of our selection. So if we click on the alpha 1, that's the only one that's selected, because you can tell with this like this brighter grayer area with the eyeball. But if you click on the words itself, it's always going to make sure that you have the proper channel selected. So please refrain from clicking on the eyeballs. So with alpha 1 selected, you see the black and white representation of your saved selection, and you're only working with white, black, or gray. And anytime you're going to be adding white or black, you always want to make sure it's solid white or solid black. And in order to do that, always hit the reset default every time when you open up Photoshop, when you're doing a channel technique and you're adding the solid white and solid black, because you want to make sure it's 100% white and 100% black. So with hitting the reset default, it assures us that. And with our foreground set to white, if you hold Option, Alt on a PC, Option on a Mac, and hit the big delete button, you will fill it with white. And now you've added that blue ring as part of your selection. But keep in mind, because we still have our selection up, right now only the blue ring is selected. But if you deselect and then reselect by command clicking on alpha 1 to load your selection, everything that is white on your alpha 1 channel will be selected now. So not only is the blue ring selected, but the white ring is selected as well. But because we have another ring to go, I don't want that selected just yet, so I'm going to deselect. And I'm going to make my third selection on the yellow ring. I'm going to add it as part of my alpha 1 channel. Got my selection, clicking on alpha 1, option delete. Now I added that. Click on RGB to bring back the full color preview mode. Always click on the words, not the eyeballs. Deselect, and then reselect by command clicking to see that all 3 rings are selected. When all 3 rings are selected, if you go to your layers, you should be able to copy from the background and paste onto like its own layer or a different file. But to show you the control that you can have with channels, I'll go ahead and copy this and then paste it onto its own layer. And then you'll notice that I was able to make more than one selection at the same time by adding it to a channel, an alpha 1 channel, and doing the steps that I did and being able to make sure all 3 are selected at the same time. However, our goal for this thing was to remove the whole entire blue background. And I do understand you could get this to work with certain selection tools, but I just want to show you the control you have with channels. But you'll notice that the blue background is still in between the rings inside the center and stuff. We don't want that. We want that removed. So I'm going to go ahead and delete layer 1. We don't need that because I messed up on purpose. And I'm going to go back to channels. And if I don't want something as part of my selection, like where this blue background is right here, you'll notice when I go to my alpha 1, because that's solid white in that area, that means that it was going to be selected. That area of background that I don't want, this area has to be solid black, just like this right here. So in order to do that, what you do is you make your selection in the center, like this. And then go to your alpha 1 and swap your foreground and your background colors from solid white to solid black, and you're going to fill it with solid black by option deleting, and you're going to do the same thing to this one and this one. Make sure I bring up my color so I can see it. Click on the RGB right there. Make your selection like this. Go to alpha 1, option delete, deselect, back to RGB, make the last selection here. Go to your alpha 1, option delete, and keep in mind we are completed, we are 100% done, but because we made the last selection right here and we didn't deselect and reselect, this is one thing you got to be careful of. Because we made that last selection right there, technically only that part right there is selected. We want the whole entire thing selected. So when you know you're 100% completely done, always deselect and then reselect by command clicking on alpha 1 to bring everything up. Click on your RGB to bring back the full color preview mode because you want the full color to copy. Go to your layers, copy from your background layer, and paste it wherever you want. I'm just going to paste it on my own separate layer. And then we successfully removed the whole entire background. We took 2 or more selections and added it to one alpha 1 channel to get our difficult selection so that it selects all at the same time. It's a little bit of work, but at the end it pays off, especially when you're working with difficult selection making. We started off simple, and eventually we're going to work our way up to more difficult selections.